DJ Tygga Ty in the mix.
What's going on with you?
What's going on, my guy?
So, I read some of the bio that was sent to me about you. I want to ask you a couple questions. First and foremost, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the Zoom.
Thank you for having me.
I like that watch.
Good looking now, man. It's calm Apple joint.
Okay. See, I don't got none of them yet. I ain't at that level yet. But I definitely want to talk to you first and foremost about the whole importance to you of an actual instrument, like the piano in front of you, right?
Okay.
I read a little bit about how you actually know how to play piano, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how to read music as well, right?
Correct.
So what's your take on a lot of these producers that are coming out and they don't even know how to read music? They just kind of download the program, get a little package, and then they just kind of put something together.
To me, I always recommend, just being a student of the game first, that, you do take up an instrument and try to learn it if you're going to get into production. For me personally, I think it's the more you educate yourself, the more you'll be able to utilize your skills. It's a difference from learning how to, play by ear, which is a talent within itself, and I'm not taking it away from anybody. But then it's also a thing to do when you're really producing an artist, to know how to put them in key. And especially when you're dealing with singers, you want to make sure that you're putting them in key. And playing an instrument would help you, when you hit a certain chord, what notes follow in the scale. So you'll be able to write a song or produce for someone and actually make sense of it. So I always recommend, like, if you can and you have the extra finances and with YouTube and all the learning and the internet now, you can learn. I mean, I had to pay for my lessons, 100 an hour growing up as a kid. My mom paid for it, I should say. And then I went to school like Juilliard and trained and got a bachelor's in music. But if you can have an hour or two a week to learn what this instrument is that you take interest in, I recommend it for sure.
Okay. Now, are you still familiar or still in contact with some of your colleagues?
From school? Absolutely. Definitely. I got a little bit of my team that we stayed real close to during college days. I thought it was important to keep, practicing with some of them, actually. So I keep in touch with a lot of the musicians that I came up with in school, the songwriters, the singers, the instrumentalists, and yeah, we vibe time to time. Sometimes even do a little jam session too.
That's dope. Now, is piano the only instrument that you actually know how to play, or do you know how to play any other instruments?
Yeah, so piano is my first instrument that I fell in love with, that my mom started off with me playing like stuff like this, like Chopin, did classical music. And then I was like, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? I gotta get into this R&B music. And that's when I really fell in love with like R&B songs. And from there, I taught myself some guitar because I love acoustic sound. Acoustic guitar is an instrument that I picked up on myself. But I was classically trained for piano.
Okay. So growing up, right, what was the music that was played in your household by your mom? Because seeing that your mom then got you into learning the piano, so what was she listening to?
My mom's was crazy Haitian, mom, shout out to all the Haitians that came to this country and was like, look, boy, this, you ain't gonna get up in no drugs, you ain't gonna be dealing with nobody on the corner. You're gonna sit on this piano and you're gonna play this Chopin and Beethoven and Mozart. So for a lot of people, they don't know that I actually grew up not listening to anything but classical music. And some of the songs that I played, like, this was at my house. And I'm just sitting there looking at my mom, smiling. Stuff like that. I was really feeling like that was my vibe. And all the girls used to come to my crib and my mom be like, you're gonna get all them rich girls when you play that music. Trust me. Trust me, you're gonna get them rich girls. So of course I listened and I realized that the shorties that I was into wasn't feeling that. It wasn't feeling that type of music. So I snuck out a couple of times when Mom Dukes was working and I learned, like, I don't know if you know this song, but Brian McKnight, Anytime. This was like my first R&B song that I discovered. And I learned it, and as I was singing and vibing to it, I discovered my love and passion for R&B. And that's how I told my mom. I made a deal with her. I was like, look, if I give you a bachelor's in music, can you, cool if I get into this music, R&B, because she said that was devil music. You feel me? Like you couldn't do that in my house. A real Christian Haitian parent. So she's like, if you give me a bachelor's, you can do whatever you want. So I gave my mom that bachelor's real quick, and I started getting into this R&B stuff.
Nice. That sounds like me. My mom told me I had to get something.
You feel me?
But yeah, so let me ask you, what were some of the struggles getting to this point now? Because like now you got a song with Fabio Foreign. He's hot right now.
Thank you.
You've got to the level where you just did it like it was second nature. I'm looking like trying to turn around and practice, but at the same time, I know that it took a lot of hard work and dedication. So what were some of the other challenges that you did face outside of, your mom saying, hey, you got to get a bachelor's degree? Again, you said some of the music that you were listening to wasn't something that like what was keeping you, at a work where you had to figure out, okay, I gotta figure this out now. Like what's next?
Some of the challenges was just being accepted in a business that, they expect you to have some type of gimmick attached to you. And for me, I was just really about the music. I was blessed to work with artists. Like my first feature was with Jadakiss. Shout out to Jada, who killed the whole verses and the whole locks. But those were my first guys that I came up around. So like the Locks, Busta Rhymes, and a lot of these artists that I got around, even with like developing Cardi B, some of these artists that I got around just came from being a student of the game and not having to switch. And that was one of the hardest things I had to do, because people be like, yo, that kid, like, what's his thing? Like, he just an artist that writes his songs, produces music, and being endorsed by Stevie Wonder, he made me make him a promise that I was going to stay true to the art. Whether I do songs with Fabio, which I love that record, Going Dummy, and records like All on Me, which with Rick Ross, or Heaven on My Mind feature with Cardi B, it's still a piece of me and it's about my life and it's true to my art. So I feel like the hardest thing in this game, especially in this time, is trying to last. And for me, as long as I've been doing it, I find that my sound is still being appreciated, and I haven't had to change who I am as an artist. Everything I'm putting out is true to the art.
Right. That's major. It's too many people that they're not comfortable within their own skin, so they pretend to be something that they're not. Right.
Correct.
What would you say would be the top 5 artists? Because you said you worked with Cardi. Cardi's hot now. You've done a situation with Jadakiss, Fabio. What are 5 artists that you would want to collaborate with if you were able to pick them right now?
𝙏𝙮. I love her voice. Drake, of course. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go with Drake. Hov, just being from Brooklyn, that would be so dope. 2 more artists that I love. Her.
That's dope.
I think of Josh X and a Her record would be fire. And then 1 more artist that I really love, I would say like a Rihanna. You feel me? I feel like Rihanna and me would make a banging Caribbean joint. That
would be dope. So talking about this song that I'm pushing for you with Fabio, right? How did this come about, and what's the message behind it in regards to this song?
So Fabio is somebody that when he was coming up, I was around and got a chance to be a part of that and see his whole come up, which was dope. And I really like, if you know my music, drill R&B is kind of not my sound. It was an experiment for me. Just being on quarantine, I was like, because just being endorsed by Stevie Wonder, people expect me to be with the instruments and the this and that. But I'm like, I know how to have fun too. You know what I'm saying? I know how to turn up in the clubs too. Not everybody that plays instruments is boring. And that's the, for me, I want to get rid of that stereotype where like growing up playing an instrument was corny. Like it's actually cool. Like you could play an instrument and be cool and get the girls and chill and have tattoos and have dreadlocks, and you don't have to be in a 3-piece suit to play the piano. Like I want to break those stereotypes, because being Black like this, looking like this, walking through Juilliard, I was already different. So for me, when I did a song with Fabio, it was for me to show that as long as you're artistic and you're true to your art, you'll be able to create music. And when I made a drill song, I said it ain't nobody better to put on it than, you know, Fabio, because I watched this come up. I was there to support it, and I felt like he was the perfect feature. So we sent the record to him, and he loved it, and he jumped on it, and we shot the video, and we went dummy. And going dummy is just about you not paying attention to the outside noise, because a lot of people try to stop your hype and, you know, put a lot of salt. I like to say salt. You feel me? Like on your career. But you just gotta go dummy on them people and make sure you keep showing them that you're gonna keep shining no matter what. You feel me? Right. So that's what the whole song is about.
Definitely motivation. Definitely motivation. So have you performed on a stage yet, seeing that we was in quarantine?
Have I? Yeah, I have actually. I did a show. Yes, I have in Amazon, which was dope. Yeah, to see the people again and be in front. It was hard just doing a bunch of virtual shows, like also 𝙏𝙮𝙜𝙜. I was killing virtual game. Like it was like, damn, like I don't know how long I could do this for, but I was doing a whole virtual shows, and then I recently did a show, and it was dope to get in front of people. So I'm looking into doing a few shows. I'm looking to jump on a tour. I can't really talk about it yet, but if it happens, man, you'll be one of the first people to get the whiff of it. But I really can't wait to start touching the people on a more consistent basis. Now that we open and we really starting to do shows, I'm excited to get back to the markets.
So what is like a show with you? Like, what's the experience like? Do you bring your piano? Are you setting up like a Brian McKnight kind of vibe?
Yes, sir.
Like
yes, sir.
Okay, you know what? I already got it pre-recorded. Like, how does it work with you?
For me, it's really about a live show. So I have my band, which is real dope, and we come out and we play. You know, I always start off by playing and taking people through the journey and knowing, you know, I'm not really somebody that came up out of hip hop and R&B. I came out of this Mozart and Chopin world, and I start to play, and people get spooked out because they don't expect it. You know what I'm saying? I got my jewelry on, I'm chilling, and you know they expect me to start playing some, you know, and I start freaking them out with all of this classical music. But that's really what my first music that I got put onto was. And then from there we get into this music where I start singing to the honeys. You know how that go, and I start just incorporating a storytelling type of vibe. My shows is real, like, it's hard to explain, but it's an experience. Like you come in and you feel like you get to know me at the same time, and I get to know the audience. And a little bit, when you leave there, you get to feel what my journey was and where I'm heading to. So I've been real happy at stage. A lot of people, you know, seem to like when I'm hitting the stage. So far, so good.
Yeah. So albums, EPs, mixtapes, what's coming out? What's coming out? Talk to me.
So I got a EP called the X Project that I'm really excited about. And I have about 10 songs on there. Going Dummy is one of the songs off there. And I'm super excited to put it out. Probably gonna drop it in fall. You know, I wanted to drop it out earlier, but we weren't open, so I was kind of waiting for everybody to get open, because, you know, the song is an adrenaline song. You need to be in them clubs. Like, people need to be outside to feel that music. So for me, I kind of kept pushing it back. But in the fall, maybe September, I'll be dropping the whole EP, and it's called the X Project. And it's got a lot of songs. Going Dummy, my top 20 Billboard record, I Miss You, which was an R&B vibe, that's on there as well. And 𝙏𝙮𝙜𝙜𝙜, which is like a Haitian, because I'm Haitian American, it's like a Haitian R&B drill song that I dropped as well. But the X Project this fall will drop. That's off the EP.
Now, outside of Fabio, is there any other features on there? Is there any like surprise producers, any like songwriters that you kind of like, you know, let me bring you with me along this journey that you kind of put on the project?
I have pretty much home team producers. You know, so shout out to Swanko. Swanko was on the whole team. He did Up for Cardi B. That's his really latest joint that he did that you may know. And I have TJ the Beat Man. Really excited about him. He's a new producer. He's on my project, but I try to keep it a little bit home team. I feel like just being an artist of, you know, when you have people. Oh, Jay White did it. Thank you. Jay White did it. Shout out to Jay White. He did I Miss You for me. So we did, we have him on my project, and he was on home team too. So, you know, it's like, I like to keep it with people that I really know. You know what I mean? I don't really like to work with people that I haven't really built a vibe with, because then it's not organic. It ain't real. You feel me? It's like you just putting two strangers in the room. So it's like for me, okay.
So how would a person, let's say that discovers your music, right? And says, hey, I want to work with this person. How can they get your attention? Because like nowadays you got social media and you have so many people like going viral through TikTok and, you know, there's little snippets, and that's how they get the wind of an artist that they're trying to get a hold of, right? How would somebody get in touch with you to get a part of your team and a part of your camp?
For me, a lot of people that I did get in touch with, that happened to get in touch with me, I should say, through social media. I'm kind of like one of them artists that really talks to my fans. Like I like to talk to my supporters, and sometimes they get me, you know what I mean? They drill me up. You know, I open up the DM and then it's one message, two messages, three messages. Next thing you know, I'm 25 minutes in deep with a fan and their music and this, and I'm genuine with it. You know, I feel like people need to be more genuine with their supporters, because we wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for the person listening to your music. I still find it amazing and fascinating that someone that I don't know from some place in the world that I ain't been to listens to my music. So I really appreciate when sometimes someone comes to me, and there's been times people pitch some beats to me and some songs and we got involved. So social media, anybody that, you know, follows me on there, you could definitely, if you got some hot stuff, because sometimes, because I got a big heart, they got me and I had to listen to some stuff, and I always give positive feedback. You know what I mean? Because I know when I first jumped on this piano, it was not sounding good. So I always tell people, like, it doesn't matter if you're incredible right now. As long as you have some good sound, I'm willing to listen. So on social media, you could definitely send me tracks, and my email's in the bio, and I check my stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you for taking the time to come on the Zoom with me. All right. And I'm definitely pushing your record on this side.
Yo, that's love, man.
DJ Tygga Ty in the mix.